Hello and welcome to today's session. So we are resuming our training at this slot for 4 to 4:45. This is for the final year students, 5th semester, and the broad areas that we are covering is campus recruitment training. I'm beginning with communication. So we finished the first pillar, the fundamental of oral communication, which is pronunciation, and now we're switching to the second fundamental pillar, which is grammar. So grammar is a word which is commonly known all to us, but there is a fundamental problem that we face when it comes to grammar. Before we understand what the issues that we face in terms of grammar, let's understand briefly what grammar means. Grammar is something that exists in every language. It's a system of a language. It's a whole system and structure of a language or of languages in general. Now the question is, are there rules in English grammar? The answer is no. In fact, no language has rules. Now there is a famous saying that rules are meant to be broken, right? So if we put across a rule, now we will not be able to follow the rule, or we may have to break the rule when it comes to a different text, different context or texts that we use. Say for example, I'm going to give you a word which is water, okay? All right. Now, if I ask anybody what parts of speech water falls into, the answer would be noun, right? For example, please give me some water. Let me realign this so that it's clearly visible to you. Now water is it's quite a common word. We use it commonly and we know that it's a noun. Okay, let me keep it this way. So if we have a rule in the language that water is always a noun, please give me some water, do you want to have water, water is precious, the water is contaminated, the water is dirty, this is a drinking water, this is an ocean water, this is a sea water. So basically we are using the parts of speech noun for water. Now if I have a sentence where it says so this is an instruction. It says, I asked the gardener to water the plants, or can you please water the plants? It's a question. The first one is a statement, the second one is a question. Now, what exactly is happening in this case? When I'm using this particular sentence, which is marked in red, if I use this sentence or this context, the word water is a noun. But if I remove this sentence and I have this as sentence number 1 and this one as sentence number 2, I ask the gardener to water the plants, can you please water the plants? Now here in this case, water becomes a verb. This is exactly why we cannot have rule in terms of the parts of speech, what word comes under which part of speech. We cannot define that, we cannot put a rule around it. There are certainly rules. For example, there are rules in terms of usage of two past tense, all right. Say for example, the mistake that we do commonly do here I didn't knew, okay, or I didn't went. Can I say I didn't went? No. Or let's take this example because it's a very common mistake. People usually say I didn't knew it. Okay, I didn't knew it. Now if you focus on these two words, didn't is a past tense, knew is also a past tense. The rule says if you have one past tense used here in terms of didn't, the next verb, so this is one verb, this is another verb, the next verb should be present tense. So it will be I didn't know it. For example, I didn't eat it or I didn't go. So there are rules in terms of the placement of parts of speech and how it will take a change, or the shape will change, the parts of speech will change. That is where the rules apply. Otherwise, there are no rules. Now, what is a common mistake that we end up doing? We make common mistakes because of mother tongue influence. What do we mean by mother tongue influence? Mother tongue influence is something that influences the word order. It makes you lose the integrity of the sentence. The listener or the receiver of the information usually will misinterpret and there will be a miscommunication. All right. Let me give you a quick example in terms of a mother tongue influence. In a nutshell or a brief way, mother tongue influence basically means when you are doing a literal translation from one language to another. So you speak your mother tongue, your vernacular language is Telugu. In case if you are translating something from your mother tongue to another language, literal translation, it may not convey the right meaning. All right. For example, in Hindi we say aapka naam kya hai. In English we say what is your name. Now the placement, what is, now the Hindi sentence starts with aapka naam, means can I say yours name is what? I cannot do that. I should say what is your name. So the word order changes. Sometimes the meaning also changes. We end up using a wrong term or a wrong word. For example, if I ask a person what is your good name, the person is most likely to give me an answer. But there is nothing called a good name or bad name. That's again a mother tongue influence which impacts vocabulary. But in terms of grammar also it makes a big difference. All right. So how do we ensure that we do not make these mistakes? For that we need to go to the basics of it. Now grammar can either be learnt by usage or by rules. Now rules are difficult to follow at times. So if you understand the usage of the language, it becomes far more simpler. To understand usage, you need to understand the parts of speech in English language. So the parts of speech, I am going to take one by one. Very common, we use noun. Ravi is going to London. Here Ravi and London is a noun. The next one is pronoun. Pronoun is something that replaces the noun. For example, he will be back in December. Then we have adjective. What do we mean by adjective? Something that qualifies the noun or pronoun or defines the noun or pronoun. Ravi is a passionate leader. What kind of a leader? Passionate leader. Verb means any action. He is driving his new BMW car. Next is adverb. What do we mean by adverb? Like adjective defines noun or pronoun, adverb defines verb. He is driving his car fast. So driving is a verb, but how is he driving, fast or slow? He is driving it fast. So fast is an adverb. Preposition, like the word preposition, focus on the word position. Preposition basically defines the placement or the place in terms of time, in terms of geography, in terms of time as well. For example, Ravi will leave for London at 8 p.m. What time? At 8 p.m. That at is a preposition, for is a preposition. I'm going to explain all these in detail again. Interjection. Interjection is basically any kind of emotion that gets expressed or any kind of expression. Wow, he will fly business class. And then we have conjunction. Conjunction means a word that combines two independent sentences. For example, Ravi and his director will go to UK. So these are the parts of speech. So once you have the example on the screen, it's much more easier for you to understand. If I ask someone, can you please define an adverb, it will be difficult for them to define, but they can use an example to explain. The idea of learning by usage is to understand the example, understand the usage of it, and then infer how a word or parts of speech can be used and can be altered. Alright. So we began with noun. Let's understand what noun is, or what the types of noun. So we have any name, place, animal, thing. We used to play that game. That's a noun. So there are common nouns. For example, the mountain is too high too tough to climb. Then we have proper noun. Proper noun, for example, New Delhi is a capital city. Proper noun, you need to understand one thing. The pronunciation of proper noun can change one place to another. For example, all over the world, especially most of the countries, they follow British English. We pronounce the word as Iraq or Iran or Afghanistan, right? Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran. But Americans pronounce that as Iraq, Iran and Afghanistan, because that is how the pronunciation changes because of a vowel sound shift. For example, we have a word which is schedule, but American English pronounces that as schedule, all right? So these changes happen because of cultural changes. There is a name, let me type that name, it will be easier for you to understand. There is a name or a month which is April, all right? Now, April is a common French name as well. In French, the name is pronounced as and spelt as Avril, all right? For example, there is a name which is Clement. All over the world, we pronounce this as Clement, but in French, in France or countries that speaks French, they pronounce this as Clement. So the name is different. There is a Chevrolet car which is launched in India. This is also a city in United States. This is pronounced predominantly everywhere as Tucson. It's not Tucson, it's Tucson. Tucson is a French word, all right? Likewise, this is a word which is rendezvous. This is pronounced as rendezvous because it's a French word. This word is pronounced as restaurant. It's not restaurant. Please don't call it a restaurant. It's restaurant. That is how it's pronounced. So from one place to another, the pronunciation changes. That is proper noun, because we may be pronouncing one word or one particular word in different ways when we move one region to another. All right. So that's proper noun because the pronunciation changes, and it's always a name. Proper nouns are names. Then we have abstract noun. Abstract noun is something that you cannot touch, feel, or you cannot touch and see. You can only feel it, right? For example, fear is an obstacle. You cannot see fear, you cannot touch fear, it's abstract. All right? So fear is an obstacle. That's an abstract noun. Then we have count and non-count noun. Count is something which you can count. Obviously, that's how the name came. Count is something that you can count, but non-count you cannot count. I cannot count water. Now, how do I add a count or measurement for water? I need to have a count noun added. Or for example, I can say, please give me a bottle, or please give me 4 bottles, because bottle can be counted. So I'm saying give me 4 bottles. But can I say please give me 4 water? No. I need to say please give me 4 glasses of water, 4 bottles of water, 4 cup of water. We usually say please give me 4 tea, or please give me 4 coffee. I cannot actually count a coffee, it's liquid, I cannot count it. I need to add a count noun on top of it, and I say please give me a cup of coffee, please give me 4 cups of coffee, which means to add a count to a noun count noun, I need to add a count noun. All right. Then we have collective noun. Collective means, for example, group. The team wants to celebrate. Now the team is considered as a singular. So the team wants to celebrate. So that's a collective noun. Then we have singular and plural noun. Singular means always one. For example, she won a lottery for 1 crore. Plural, they are going to the market. So wherever it's more than one, it becomes plural. Then we have possessive noun. Possessive means when somebody is holding on to it, it's under somebody's possession. For example, I am using Rahul's bike. So the bike belongs to Rahul. So I use the apostrophe S. I am using Rahul's bike. That's a possessive noun. Then we have compound noun. Compound noun is something when you join two independent words and that denotes a third new word. For example, the ceiling fan is not working. For example, self-confidence. Confidence is one word, self is another word. We combine it together, that becomes self-confidence. Say for example, bus stop. Bus is a different word, stop is a different word. You combine it, that becomes a third new word. Now when it comes to a collective noun, there are things that you need to remember because the usage changes. For example, if I have a word, if I have to use a plural, cow, so I just add an S, right? I just add an S, that becomes plural. But if I have a word mouse, I cannot say mouses, that is wrong. I need to say mice, alright. That's a plural form. For example, men, can I say men's? Sorry, if I have the word man, can I say man's? Applies to women's. It's children. S to children and they say children's. It's not children's, it's children because children itself is a plural. I'll give you some example form. Luggage, there are no plural form. Baggage, there is no plural form here. Okay, so there are quite a few words which does not have a plural form and the same form is used to denote a plural form. For example, furniture, I cannot say furnitures, it's furniture only. So that's a plural form. So when it comes to singular and plural form, you need to understand how it works. Now in terms of collective noun, for example, a herd of sheep. So since there are more than one sheep, I will use it, I need to use the word herd. For example, if birds are in a group, that group is called flock, a flock of birds. I cannot say fishes, so I need to say a school of fish. That is how it's denoted. There is no plural form for fishes. You can't say fishes. It's fish only. All right. So these are the examples of all the forms. All right. Now let's go forward. Just a quick quiz for all of you. You need to identify the noun in these sentences. All right. I missed the bus because I was late. So the noun here is bus. So I'm going to pause for 3 seconds after each question so that you can answer it yourself. The queue was very long, so I didn't wait. What was long? The queue was long. Hence, Q is the noun. The distance was too long to cover. The distance was too long to cover. Of course, distance is the noun here. Now, singular and the plural forms. I went to the market and bought a lot of fruit or fruits. Of course, it is fruits. The dash in the city is unbearable. Traffic or traffics. Imagine you are covering close to 8 to 9 main road. You covered 20 kilometers. So, do you see traffic or traffics? The correct answer is traffic. There is no plural form for that. I have to cut my dash today, hair or hairs. So, don't use hairs, there is no plural form, it's still referred as hair. Correct singular and plural form, some more questions. There are so many different type of dash in the world, people or peoples. Now, people itself is a plural form, you don't have to add an S again. I have to buy a lot of furniture for my new apartment. I just gave you this example a while ago. So, furniture is a correct word. I need help to carry all the luggage or luggages. It is luggage. There is no plural form for that. After the party, there was a lot of garbage or garbages. The answer is garbage. There are no plural forms for this. Alright. So, that's about the noun. You need to practice a lot in order to understand how it's used. Please remember, you know your shortcomings are in terms of communication skills, especially oral communication. And you must be feeling little awkward because you make a lot of mistakes. Trainings like these are meant and created and designed for you. So, you need to make best use of it. Either you could be watching it at home on MANATV or you could be watching it on YouTube live right now. I haven't found anybody posting any questions so far. We started this training more than a week ago. If you do not ask questions, there is no way you are going to learn and get your doubts cleared. So, please make use of this platform. Please make use of these programs and try to understand how best you can derive value and benefits out of it. I have finished now, and if you want me to repeat something, I can do so. But in order for you to communicate with me, you need to post on the YouTube comment box so that I can take a look at it and I can provide you with the answers. Alright. Tomorrow we're going to look at the aspects of pronoun and we'll look at all the parts of speech. After that, we'll do a lot of quiz. I'm going to show you the question and I will also give you the answer so that you can understand. And if you have questions while the training is on, you can still post. During the break, I'll take a look at the question and I'll provide you with the answer. Alright. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make best use of it. Practice as much as possible because this is for your benefit. Thank you for your time. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.